Today, I am so excited to welcome Lisa Klein to the show. Lisa is a business coach and process strategist who helps coaches and service providers turn scattered ideas into focused action plans that boost visibility, engagement, and sales. With over a decade of experience in coaching, accountability, and business strategy, Lisa blends proven launch frameworks with practical marketing systems spanning social media, email, and lead generation to help clients grow sustainably and confidently. Known for her supportive cheerleader energy and strategic approach, Lisa helps her clients see what's possible, map out the path to get there, and stay accountable every step of the way. Lisa, I'm so excited to have you today.
Thank you so much. I feel like after that intro, I needed some pom-poms or something. So thank you.
Yes. It's funny because I'm totally one of those people, side note, who has like some feelings about cheerleaders from high school, but you totally don't like bring that vibe. You bring like the happy, positive cheerleader vibe.
Okay,
So I love it. You definitely need some pink pom-poms.
Add that to my Amazon cart.
Yes, for sure. Right on brand with you. Okay, so I always like to start by sharing how I met my guest. So LinkedIn gets a shout out today for you and I meeting each other probably about a year ago. I feel like we started kind of like popping up in each other's feeds, or at least you started popping up in my feed. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lisa Klein is everywhere. You are so good at your LinkedIn engagement. I see you all the time commenting on other people's posts. And so it was kind of funny when we finally hopped on a Zoom call towards the end of the year. We're like, oh my God, it feels like we've known each other forever.
For sure.
Yeah, we have so much alignment. Like, I am so excited for this conversation today because I know that you and I are very aligned on a lot of things. And marketing funnels and building lead magnets and having a system in place to nurture your leads is a big piece of that. So today, I'm really excited to dive into what I think is super cool and interesting about your story is you have this marketing mistake that you made, which really kind of helped evolve the work that you do to where you are now, which I think is just really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want me to
So,
dive in or?
yes. So I was going to say, I'll let you start where you want to start, but with that framing in mind, like, what were you doing before, and how did you kind of get to where you are now?
Yes. So I started my coaching business in the health and wellness space. So very different. It was about 12 years ago. And in that time, I was started fitness accountability, did groups, and then nutrition, mindset, all the things. And it was in that space where I really had my first like, oops, this isn't quite right. But it didn't, in the beginning, you're just going and you don't realize more so sometimes the business impacts that what you're doing can have. You're told to create a lead magnet and build your email list and build off social media and all those things that I'm going and I'm doing. And I just thought it was amazing because what I always say is I had the most epic lead magnet ever because it got hundreds of downloads. I'd have to go back and give the exact number, but let's just say hundreds and hundreds. And
Yeah.
it was a meal plan with a 5-day meal plan with healthy recipes and a grocery list and literally all the things, right? And it was awesome because what people wanted was free recipes, healthy recipes. They just wanted, and here it was. I was giving what people wanted, right? I did my market research on what people wanted. And unfortunately, it was not in alignment to my offer. It grabbed the attention of the freebie seekers, of those who wanted free recipes, but there was no bridge. There was no what comes next to actually working with me. So this misalignment, like I said, it took me a while to figure that out. And it's one of the things I help my clients with now, that just because it might solve a pain point or be a solution to a problem your audience is having, you need to make sure that it is in alignment with what you're offering and create that bridge to a paid offer.
Yes. I love this example. So what was it, Lisa, about, I mean, freebie seekers, that's a real thing. I remember hearing that phrase first from a business coach I used to work with years ago. Right? We don't want to be attracting the people who don't want to pay anything, because then how does that convert for us as a service-based business owner? So what else can you tell us about that disconnect between that lead magnet that you had and your paid offer, and why the people who were interested in the lead magnet were not the ones who would be interested in paying you for your services?
Yes. So what my actual services were at that time were one-on-one coaching for creating sustainable, healthy habits. So it wasn't just with meal plans. Yes, I had a small offer for a meal planning consultation, and that might have worked. That might have, right? If my messaging and the positioning around that could have bridged that gap. But again, it was a PDF download that didn't really create that trust and that nurture to get somebody over to the side of paying something more high ticket. So yes, it might have worked for a low ticket offer, or maybe, if I had a recipe book or something else that kind
That's
of was
exactly what I was thinking.
connected. But it was so far from, having just this PDF, this ebook over to one-on-one coaching.
Yeah. So how did you figure that out?
Well, like I said, many months of sending out emails and having my email list grow, but not converting. And it was finally, and I wish I remembered that far, that far back. But I later created a masterclass all about creating healthy habits, healthy, sustainable habits, which was more of my philosophy, right? Not the quick fix, and building those healthy habits. And that masterclass alone, I had 3 people that signed up for my one-on-one coaching, like right there, right after the masterclass. And so it was more of, okay, the people needed to feel me, to see me, and have that alignment and that connection from what you're offering for free to how you can help them and what your services are.
Right. Yeah. So I always love on this show, right, where we can kind of like pull out these key lessons learned for listeners. And so it sounds like, you're like, hey, I have this awesome lead magnet. I'm getting all these downloads, building my email list, but your email list didn't convert to clients. And so that was kind of your key. It sounds like after a few months of realizing, okay, but I grew my list and I'm marketing to them through emails, I presume. And you're like, but people aren't buying. So something's not quite right. So that's a good thing for listeners to take away. Like if you do have a lead magnet, if you have been building your email list and your email list isn't converting, it could be the email marketing isn't, good enough, or it could be, like you're saying, this kind of like disconnect between who was a good fit for the freebie and who was a good fit for the paid thing.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes too, as business owners, we get stuck in just like go mode, and we're just constantly going without kind of that pause and having that reflection of what's working, where is there a disconnect, and how is it something I can fix? Are you getting opt-ins? Like you said, are emails being opened? Are there clicks? All the things that go into that as well. So sometimes it's just kind of taking a step back to see what's working and what's not.
Yeah. So I always say on this show, hindsight's 2020, right? Like, and now, which we're going to get to the fact that you're an expert in this space. But if you look back on that experience, you can very clearly see why the thing you had was not a good stepping stone to get people to a paid thing. What have you kind of realized about that in terms of, because it sounds like then you did the masterclass and you're like, oh yeah, this is much better. And now this converts. Like, talk us through kind of that process of like how you got from one to the other.
I think it was really, like I said, becoming more aware of, and kind of owning it. Like, okay, yes, I could still love these recipes and still give them and use them, but there has to be something more that I am giving, and not to say more valuable, but that really connects those dots and builds that bridge for what my paid offer is. And so instead of what I see a lot of times, people say, I need a lead magnet, and they just go and create in a bubble and they put something out there, but really starting backwards. So starting from your paid offer and your paid service to say, okay, what makes sense with this? If I'm trying to get somebody to buy in and to get to know me and trust me and all those things, what is going to be that piece? So it's kind of working backwards instead of starting from, the lead magnet, starting from your paid offer and working backwards.
I love that. Okay, so I can see where we're going in this conversation. So let's talk about how you went from health coach doing one-on-one coaching then 12 years ago, I don't know how long you did that, to what your business looks like today.
Okay, so I was in that space for nearly a decade, about 9.5 years. And towards, I would say the end, right? Towards the end, I just kept feeling like there's something else, right? In the season of life I was in, it was perfect for the season of life that I was in then. My kids were younger, and I was looking for, okay, what's next? Like, this has been so fulfilling being a part of my clients' wellness journey and all that. So it was all positive. But what I started noticing, and at the time I was more so on Instagram, was that in my community there, my DMs were a lot more focused on, hey, have you thought about this? What about this for a lead magnet? What are you doing for email marketing? More of the behind the scenes with my, our internet friends, and just giving advice. And I helped one of my friends. It was a post she had done. And I was like, that post right there is a full masterclass, right? And sometimes, right, you can see it and you're like, you can use this. It doesn't just need to be social media. Repurpose that. And she turned that into a lead magnet to start a group program. And so it was kind of those small things that I was doing behind the scenes with my friends and just on other coffee chats and things that really started getting my brain going of, okay, could I turn this into something else and start business coaching in another space?
Very cool. So it started with you just kind of having these DMs with other business friends that you had made on Instagram, and you're just kind of like brainstorming with each other, like different ideas for lead magnets and repurposing content and all of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool. That is so cool. I feel like I've seen a post of yours before about that friend maybe, and like asking for advice. And so I knew some of that, but that's really cool that it was just kind of this like, wait a minute, I have ideas, and I gave some ideas and they worked out really well. And so maybe I kind of want to transition my business to be focused on this. Mm-hmm. So how did you kind of, not that this is the theme of the show, but I'm just curious, like, how did you kind of like make that transition in your business to go from health coaching to this focus on like lead magnets and content strategy stuff?
Okay. So it was around that time, it was October 2023, maybe. I was at a business retreat, and everybody showed up there and was like, what's new? What are you going to do new next year for your business? And I was like, I'm really happy coaching one-on-one. This was right. I was in the health and wellness space. And I'm like, maybe I just need to like go into network into a new place, and maybe it's not Instagram anymore. And that's when I came over to LinkedIn. And so it was on LinkedIn that, right, still behind the scenes and kind of in the back of my mind was, is there something else for me? And I think it was, I was doing both. I was still had my one-on-one clients that I was servicing, but I was also kind of dabbling in helping other coaches in my industry with their email marketing and doing more kind of like OBM work. So I was kind of testing out to see what I liked. And most of those clients that kept coming back to coaching and strategy. It was, okay, a lot of the people that I work with have all the ideas, big visionaries. And I'm like, okay, right. It's going back to those simple habits and creating those sustainable habits to create the process so that businesses can thrive long-term and not get burnt out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you obviously saw the need, right? And the, back on theme for the show, right? The marketing mistakes that people were making. So what were some of those? Well, what were and what are some of those things that you see with people with businesses regarding the work that you do. What are some of the common things that hold them up?
I mean, I think we both see, right? Those people that maybe they launch a new offer, they put a post on social media, they put an email out, and then they're like, why isn't it working? And so for those, it's more of helping them realize whether they're going into a new audience, maybe they're targeting a new audience, and really that what happens in the pre-launch and how to gear them up for a launch. And also a lot of times people don't realize how much goes into a launch or into, if you're building out a sales funnel, it sometimes takes a lot longer than people expect. And so being able to do that without burning out, getting the support and guidance and mentorship sometimes is that missing piece to like help them continue to go and grow.
Yeah, for sure. So I know that lead magnets continues to be a huge focus for you in the work that you do with clients. So how specifically to like the world of lead magnets and what I call, a marketing funnel, right? This idea that we're attracting people, we're giving them a way to convert to become a lead for us, give us their name and email address through something like a lead magnet, then, nurture them over time through something like email marketing and then convert them at the bottom. What are some of the main problems you see, mistakes that business owners are making in terms of that lead magnet specifically when we think about the whole? And the reason I ask this is because whenever I teach the marketing funnel framework, I always tell my audience the convert stage, that lead magnet, that getting people to fill out a form, that is the biggest gap that I see for business owners is they're not focused on that. They're just mostly focused on that awareness. We just need to get out in front of more people. We just need more people to learn about us. And it's like, okay, that's great, but that's just the first step on their journey. So how do you bring them into your world and nurture them?
Yeah. And I would even say beyond the awareness is sometimes you're talking to the same people, and the role, right, of the lead magnet is how to get new eyes. So you're not talking to the same people. So you're not sending an email about your new lead magnet because you have already captured those people. It's finding those new ones that are, like you said, can take them through your funnel to the end goal to convert. For sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, that's the thing, right? And whenever I was just giving a workshop on this last week to business owners, and I'm like, anytime you're focused on that awareness, that visibility part of your funnel, you need to already be thinking, what is that way that I'm going to give someone an opportunity to fill out a form to get on my email list? Like all of those activities should have that in mind, because otherwise all those potential opportunities are just falling off the side of your funnel.
Yes. So another thing that I think, I'm not sure if we talked about before, but it's having that missing clear next step. So whether it is a PDF download or you name it, whatever that lead magnet is.
Yeah. Masterclass, like you said.
Yeah. Tell them exactly, right? People need to know exactly what to do next. And make it super simple, make it really easy, whether it's booking a call, whether it's here's a link to my program, here's a podcast to listen to, whatever it is, that next step that you want to continue to create, nurturing them and building that relationship, make it really clear and easily accessible to them.
Yes. Clear calls to action. So yeah, from that, like I was saying, like from that visibility awareness, someone is seeing you on social, or they went to a presentation you gave, or you met them at a networking event, like then what is that next step to get them on your email list? And then like you said, like in that, what I consider like the nurture part of that funnel is like, then what is the next step you want them to take? Is it, hearing me on this podcast, because then, that builds trust, or going to a specific page on your website. Like I have a blog on my site that I link to in a lot of places where I talk about the marketing funnel isn't what you think, because that's so core to the work that I do. So just to give, some tangible examples for people listening, you always want to think throughout that entire marketing funnel you're building, what's the next step that you want someone to take on that journey to get to know you, like you, trust you, and ideally become a client if they're the right fit.
Yes. Yes to all of that. Exactly.
Yeah. This is why you and I are so aligned. Whenever I say
And,
your stuff, I'm like, we're
you
like
know,
in each other's heads.
I think going back to when you said how we connected on LinkedIn, I think that's what it was. Every post that I saw of yours, I was like, this, like, I literally commented this, like all of this. Yes, all of this.
Yes. Yeah, I love that we have so much alignment, but yet we like stay in different lanes of the work that we do. There's some overlap, but it's really nice. So, Lisa, in terms of lead magnets specifically, we've talked a lot about making sure that the lead magnet itself is the right thing that you can build that bridge to the paid thing. I think we touched a little bit on, right, like it's the audience too, like that's a piece of it, is being super clear on who the audience is that you're trying to target in terms of that freebie leading to that paid thing. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on in terms of, just because I know that business owners struggle with lead magnets so much, like what are the other things that they should be thinking about if they're like, yeah, we should really create a new lead magnet, but I don't know what it is?
I think looking at it as a strategic asset. And so, right, it's not just, oh, I'm giving something away for free. It's kind of the exchange. Like you're going to be asking something of your audience by getting their email address, and you need to be able to, okay, what's that exchange, and have it be like that first handshake. Think of it as really a true relationship builder and not just a freebie.
I love that. Yes, another reason we are super aligned, because marketing is building relationships. As much as business owners like to complicate it and make it feel like icky and awkward and stressful, like it's just building relationships.
Yes.
So yes, that lead magnet is a piece of that journey of building that relationship.
Yeah.
I love that perspective.
One thing that we didn't mention was making sure that your lead magnet is consumable for your audience. So everybody's audience is different. And so when I'm like, yes, I love having, master classes or webinars or workshops, it's like, if your audience doesn't have an hour of their day to carve out, that's not the right fit for you then, right? Just because you might love it, it doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you to do if it's not going to connect to your audience.
Yes, that is so true. I've seen that, like people trying to give like 1 hour workshops or something, and their audience is super busy. Like they're not logging on for an hour to do a virtual workshop. You need it to be, smaller, more bite-sized. I love that point. And actually, so one thing that I thought of earlier when you were talking was an example from a client that I worked with. So they were in the event management space, and they did like luxury party planning, like really like high end experiences. And their lead magnet was like a kid's like birthday party planning checklist. And when I worked with them, we like did the whole like buyer personas and I'm like, ladies, like this is not the people that you are attracting with this lead magnet are the DIYers. They are not the ones who are going to pay for your expertise and the skill that you bring to create these beautiful, memorable experiences for your clients and the guests that they invite to these parties. So just another example that I thought, I was like, oh, so spot on with what you're saying.
Yes, for sure. That's why I always say,
all right,
Lisa, make it make sense.
Yes, being super clear on who that audience is you're trying to reach, making sure that lead magnet solves a problem for them. That's always what I talk about. Is like it has to be enticing enough. It can't just be a blog post, right? It's got to be like meaty enough. It's got to show that you're an expert, you can help solve their problem. And especially as we talked a lot about in this conversation, you have to be able to see that bridge from how you get from that free thing to take them up to the paid thing.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, Lisa, as we get ready to wrap up this conversation, we covered so much ground. I feel like everyone listening should really know how to evaluate their lead magnet to see if it's a good one or if they need to maybe create a new one and some next steps to take to do that. Is there any last piece of advice that you want to leave listeners with from this conversation?
I'm like, I think we covered it all. I don't think I have any last bits. It's just really being more aware. And like I said, starting kind of from your offer to make it make sense, not just for you, but for your audience.
Yes. Yeah. And I think really the underlying theme to all this is strategy, right? Like, if it's rooted in strategy, then you're checking all these boxes that Lisa and I have talked about in this conversation, which will help ensure that it's going to be successful and get you the results that you want. So that was perfect. I love it. Very lastly, Lisa, how can people connect with you, learn more about you and the work that you do?
I am always on LinkedIn, so you can find me at Lisa Klein, and my website is lisakleinsco.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And what is your favorite lead magnet that you have right now?
Well, I have a couple, no shocker. And that's maybe another point too, is it's okay to have more than one depending on what season of business you're in. So I have one on LinkedIn that is an ultimate lead magnet checklist. And I will also be hosting a masterclass in the near future, most likely on lead magnets.
Awesome. I love it. That's great. Yes. And it's funny because when I first started my business, I had one lead magnet and that was it. And now I have a bunch, but I always tell people, I'm like, I didn't just create them all at once. Like, you go through a process, and I've thought about taking down my original one. It's a social media guide and template. But I still get people downloading it. So I'm like, I'll just leave it in my resources tab. Like, it's there in case. But yeah, it's an evolution, it's a process, and yeah, having multiple over time, I think is definitely an okay thing. So sure. Awesome. So people can go check out your stuff on your website, follow you on LinkedIn so they hear about when that masterclass is going to be offered. And I just want to thank you so much for your time and your cheerleader energy that you brought to the show today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. And until next time, everybody.